Travis Wayne Goodsell. Today I have been busy watching The Hunters. Oh, just Hunters. Exclusive Amazon show. And so Amazon brings out the whole season all at once. And it's taken me a while to get to it. But I was aware of Paperclip, even though the story itself is fiction. But it was watching Americans, or Americans. I think it was HBO, wasn't it? I don't think it was Showtime, or if it was Showtime, it was Showtime. But that brought new information to my thinking, as both Russia and, well, we brought the Nazis into America, and I tried looking to see if the psychiatrist who had me disappeared under the church's orders and payment was connected to any of World War II psychiatrists. I don't know her maiden name, I guess. But the concept that we have both Russian spies and Nazi Germany spies from World War II, which would be descendants by now. It explains a lot why we have just the two main parties that battle for power: Democrat communists and Republican Nazis. And McCarthy being a Nazi sympathizer, if not a Nazi, who ordered the extermination of Democrat commies. But I am reminded of my Boy Scouts experience. I didn't start until the wolf pack. And apparently there's the lion and the tiger. Lions, tigers, wolves, and bears, oh my. And I think it was in my late teens when I heard about the Nazi wolf pack that I went, wait a minute. They're using animal symbols from nations. Or Baden-Powell, I guess, is the one who created it, using Freemasonic ranking. And so lion, Israel. Tiger is the Asian countries, along with Philippines, Bangladesh, utilizing the tiger specifically, but South Korea and India. And then wolf, which is our bear comes first, which is Russia, and then wolf, which is the Nazis, and then Weeblos, which Scouts claim that came from Native American Indians. And then the Order of the Arrow, that's the Illuminati. They don't actually have a country or a nation, but they're the inspiration for both sides, playing both sides, who came to America. Bears and wolves came to America to work together to cause division in America, to divide us into equal tribes And then, of course, is there another one from Arrow? Can't remember. But then Eagle, America. So I guess Baden-Powell was trying to harmonize all nations. But it was the one thing I wasn't quite sure of with Brigham Young. I knew that he was upset with the anti-Mason movement. He and Heber found out about Joseph Smith Sr.'s role in that, and when they got the Book of Mormon, they knew, as Heber had gotten William's book. It was found in his possession. And then, of course, the video I did the other day of Heber C. Kimball and how he just outright lied. He tried to infiltrate back in 1824, but apparently was unsuccessful, even though he claims he was. But I think that was speaking back on it, revealing that he knew what was going on and was making those claims. And then I'm the one who figured out the leadership crisis. Nobody else who's done history on the church. I'm not aware of anybody talking about it, but I don't use them as references. I did my own research, and as I was working my way up through the years, I saw it building and preparing for that. And so it was clear that 1838 was when they made their move to take over leadership positions from Joseph while he was in jail, because of what they did behind his back, the Danites. So, but then assassination by Willard and John Taylor. And then I immediately recognized when Brigham Young dedicated the Nauvoo Temple on the 1st of May that was the Illuminati anniversary. And as a Scottish Rite, I knew that's what he was doing. That he was giving tribute to the Scottish Rites Illuminati, and thus putting the inverted pentagrams on it. And then finding out in Salt Lake City, he has the Seagull Gate with the inverted pentagram, which you enter into the gate, which is at Temple Square, and you go up the hill to the Capitol, which you can see through the gate. And the symbolism, I've already done that video as well. And so I saw that he was symbolizing his Scottish Rites Illuminati, but the Seagull Gate does seem to indicate that Brigham Young was purposely letting others know, all who would come to visit him in Salt Lake City would see the Seagull Gate, go into the Capitol building, visiting Temple Square, and they'd go, "Ah, he's one of us." And thus they would know that he is one that is plotting to destroy America rather than to save the Constitution like Joseph intended. And of course that explains why Mormons here in Utah seem to be the most corrupt. As I was arrested by the church with loyalists to the church, and then when I got out, appeared again, loyalists for the church have again attacked and even tried torture. I mean, these guys know torture techniques. They exploit your weakness. But yeah, I always wondered, well, what about the Book of Mormon? Because they keep preaching the Book of Mormon, read the Book of Mormon, and following its precepts, because they put that in the introduction, which came from Wilford Woodruff, who wrote that in his journal. And I thought, well, how could the church have completely misunderstood the Bible such that they were following each and every single bad example in the Book of Mormon? From Laban to the Great and Abominable Church, to the Antichrist, to King Noah, to the rich Zoramites, to the Gadianton robbers. And I wondered, did they know that they were doing this? Or is it just a pattern of behavior of those who follow Lucifer? And I guess all comes down to the Seagull Gate, that Brigham Young did know, and he was purposely mocking the Smiths. He knew what they had done in trying to save America, infiltrated their church, their organization, rose up in rank, replaced the leadership, assassinated the founder, and then kidnapped as many Mormons as they could and enslaved them here in Salt Lake City, where he established the symbol of the Seagull Gate. And that seems to be the most likely scenario, that Brigham Young purposely followed all the bad examples in the Book of Mormon as a just sheer mockery. And the craziest thing is that we all fell for it as Mormons. I guess not me, in the sense that I was very sarcastic as a teenager, even in primary even. I was always changing the lyrics of the songs. And so I was kind of sarcastic in my youth. But I never, in my wildest dreams, thought that the corruption went so deep. And I didn't, you read about the stuff, and yeah, he purposely started polygamy, blamed it on Joseph, and made a mockery of the Book of Mormon and the Doctrine and Covenants passage, but the Book of Mormon specifically, because 3 times it denounces polygamy. Brigham Young would have read the Book of Mormon. He would have known. You read over his talks, and I guess I should review them now that I have all this research information in my head. see what other things I can find out. But yeah, Heber C. Kimball's Prophecy of the Latter Days. It's clear that he wasn't prophesying, he was revealing the future plans of the Scottish Rites Illuminati. And so when he says Salt Lake City would be numbered among the most wicked cities in the world, wow. And so yeah, I need to do another edit of my LDS or Warning to Latter-day Saints or something like that. I noticed sales for that has picked up on Amazon, as it appears Mormons are well aware that we're in the second coming now. Still not seeing too many on my star interpretations, celestial sign interpretations. Book of Signs, I've seen a couple for those, but not too much on my other stuff I did, as I was researching those, because we were getting more than just the lunar eclipses that I was well familiar with. But yeah, I thought I had gotten to the bottom of the depths of evil for the church leaders, and the realization that they purposely violated the precepts of the Book of Mormon. All of them. Literally, all of them. That's a level I didn't know existed. I mean, even though it's a fiction, Hunters still is very disturbing when they do the flashbacks to the fiction tales of what happened at Auschwitz. Because the real tales were just as extreme. The human experimentations, it's very tough to watch. But one of their fiction things was the release of a virus. And I'm not sure how long ago this was. It's got 2020 as the date, but they would have been working on it last year. And so that would have been before China did the coronavirus. But Al Pacino made a comment. I think it was Al Pacino, or it was I think it was Al Pacino who made the comment about how the last plague of Moses has to do with the virus that was going to be released. And I went, wow, I've been doing those videos for you guys. And I was wondering if the enemies of the world currently understand that they're fulfilling biblical prophecy, or if it's just a pattern of behavior. But as I realized with Brigham Young purposely mocking the Book of Mormon to show his Scottish Rites Illuminati that his loyalty is with them, not with America and not with the Smiths, that it seems very clear that my theory is correct. that the enemies of humanity purposely are fulfilling biblical prophecy as a mockery, which is what Albert Pike indicated in his letter to Giuseppe Mazzini, getting Christians to save themselves, and no Jesus shows up. So that's what the world has done to the Jews. The Jews have constantly been looking for salvation on earth ever since being kicked out of Egypt. We can't count Assyria. And they make a mistake. Esther was not a Jew. She was an Israelite. Big difference. There were no Jews taken into captivity by Assyria. It was the Babylonians. But with the Babylonians and the Persians, even though the Persians were a little more tolerant to letting other people rule as long as they gave tribute. And so I hope the Jews understand that even though Cyrus let them go and build their temple in Jerusalem, that it wasn't the capital of Israel that they were building. They had to give tribute to Persia still. But then the Greeks and the Festival of Lights, Hanukkah, has that Messiah Latter Days theme picks up with the Maccabees, the Maccabean revolt. But then the Romans conquer them again. And then you have the revolts at the time of Jesus, of the New Testament stories. And then the Christian, the Holy Roman Empire. The Christian Jews, which the gospel narratives talks about, they were all mostly Jews. They just disappeared. They assimilated into the surrounding cultures and then just vanished. Whereas Alexandria became the dominant one with the most members in Egypt. And then the Arabs rose up as Muslims, and Islam with Muhammad. Right at the same time that, it was actually before. That's when the Jews, 200 years after, began working on their Torah. And the Dead Sea Scrolls indicate that it was patterned after that version. That the Torah was patterned after the Dead Sea Scrolls version. So, yeah, it does seem like the enemies of the world are purposely mocking the Bible, purposely fulfilling all the prophecies according to their interpretation, to discredit the Christian God or the Jewish God or Messiah, because it's a man that's supposed to save the Jews, who's from the house of Ephraim, according to Ezekiel. And then, of course, Islam also would be proven false, but Albert intended to have Zion and Islam destroy each other, and then Christianity would be the outsiders who would lose faith because Jesus never comes. And the signs have all happened. The biblical signs, they've all happened, guys. If you're not Mormon, because I'm focused on Mormons, but if there are those of you who are Christian, I hope you do understand that's the enemy's plan, to destroy your Christian beliefs, because you believe in faith without fruit. I hear people talking about, well, you can't just talk the talk, faith, you have to walk the walk, action. But I'm not hearing anything about getting to the final destination. 9-inch nails, final destination. The size of the nails of Jesus' crucifixion. Alright, I'll watch one more episode of Hunters and go to bed and upload this at the same time. And you got the rest of your Sundays off, Mormons. Sunday is now a Mormon holiday. No more church. And they say temporary, I know, but you guys aren't paying attention. Trump purposely is not testing anybody. He's withholding the tests, and that's causing a widespread of the virus. Because the nations that aren't testing, like China was, China got up into hundreds of thousands of people with infected, but they contained it now. No more are getting reported. But of course they took away everybody's agency. They took away their rights, that we would call rights under a constitution if we were to ever follow it. Life, liberty, property. China took away those rights in order to control the virus, which they caused. You have to understand what was going on in China before the virus. They were trying to subjugate Hong Kong. And Hong Kong was saying, hell no. China had implemented a camera monitoring system throughout the cities where they had facial recognition, which put you in a social credit system that if you violated their laws for social behavior, if you tweet the wrong thing on their Twitter, I don't know what they have, but you get dinged. And if you get to a certain low level, like a credit rating for us, for them it's a social credit rating. If you enter into the poor and the bad credit ratings, you're limited on what you can buy. You may be, if you're in a fair credit rating, you're allowed maybe one game. They don't have that kind of system, but I'm trying to give a parallel example. You can buy one video game, but then you can only play it for a certain amount of time each day. That's how they control you. And so if you here in America want to spend your life playing video games because you can make money off of it, and you can learn and get motor eye-hand coordination and lots of great benefits from it. But if the United States decides, no, video games are a waste of time, they rot your brain and blah, 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 and we've heard all of those. They cause people to be violent. If that wins out and controls our behavior, that will be the limitations we get. And we can't do anything about it other than what Hong Kong did and said hell no and fought back, which China then sent the military in. And so, yeah, it was going on month after month after month, and then boom, coronavirus. I haven't heard anything about the riots in Hong Kong anymore. And I know they have victims of coronavirus, but I'm not hearing the news talk about it anymore. They have distracted us, distracted the news from reporting what's going on in Hong Kong now. That is a tell for distraction cover-up. Just like the church leaders, they're giving off tells that they're purposely shutting down the church and abandoning the Mormons. And it just happens to time with my lawsuit. And so it seems very obvious and clear that they don't want to hand over the church to me or give me a check. They have until 30th of March at midnight, now that I've finally figured out a way to have served them with my complaint. God, what a mess. Everybody's in on it to cover it up. And then the people here that are attacking me, it's been so long now that they think I've forgotten. That's the dumbest thing I've seen from them. That they think I've forgotten. If they just ignore me and they go into silence for a period of months, they think they can just come at me again and then I will forget. And then I won't record them. I won't keep the documents. Dumb. And so now I can finally get Percy out of here. He has to go. I've informed Adult Protective Services. Thanks to the church and what they did to me, I'm now a protected citizen. and my property manager, who has exhibited the wording of white supremacist in her emails. Man. And she's the one who attacked me with the rash from the allergies to the mold that she refused to take care of. It's unbelievable. The pure hatred that these people have of humans and human life, that they think that they have the right to rule by murder, enslavement, and domineering control. That if I don't conform to their way of life, their way of thinking, that I'm in the wrong and I need to be punished. And we're not talking about criminal behavior that they're going after. We're talking about me deciphering Paleo-Hebrew and the church blacklisting me. Because the church believes that only the president of the church can translate and decipher Paleo-Hebrew and Egyptian. And so I come along, I'm now a threat. Because it's unbelievable. I'm one of their own, but they don't care because they see it as betrayal. And so, yeah, my upbringing, because of my Nazi Mormon parents, caused me to be sarcastic. Gave me the courage to stand up against abusers of me. I will not be replaced by Nazis. So, alrighty. Before I was gonna decide to watch Hunters all day today, I came up with a whole ton of videos. So maybe I'll do them tomorrow. We'll see. Otherwise, they'll get put in the big old pile that keeps getting bigger as I don't get to all of the videos in there. But yeah, there's some beauties that I got planned. Alrighty. Good night, Mormons, and enjoy your day off tomorrow. And I can't believe it. They shut down all temples, but they're not telling us on the website. They're now telling us that all temples have differing schedules, and then they show the ones that are actually closed permanently until the coronavirus lifts, which it never will. But I talked to my ex-wife just to rub it in that I was right about the church closing. She's a hardcore believer, despite all the signs, despite all the things the church is doing, and I kept repeating over and over again, but the church closed. They closed. They have hundreds of billions stored up. They have Welfare Square with Bishop storehouses, and they just closed rather than take care of the poor and the sick. They just closed. They abandoned us. That's one of the videos I have. And she's still, the church is true. It's still true. What is she going to do when the church does physically abandon the church? Because right now, they don't have to appear in public. They're not traveling anywhere. They can just sit at home and relax with their regular paychecks still. You know, their priestcraft checks. And put out a video for conference. That's what they're probably going to do. I don't know if it's going to be live. But yeah, they started up the Book of Mormon again, the Book of Mormon videos with Mosiah today. And so I get those for Russ. Yeah, they're just stringing Mormons along. They closed. You know, when you read the scriptures about Jesus stepping in to help the poor, help the homeless, help the sick and the afflicted, and the church just closes, says, no, we're not helping anybody. We're not going to give charity. See, the Utah Food Bank came today for the people in the Parliament. Where's the church? Where's Bishop Cummins? It's Cummins now. It's no longer Reed Hammond. After a 6 months extension, they finally replaced him with Bishop Cummins. Where's our food assistance, Bishop Cummins? I doubt he is watching my videos. I think they've all stopped now that my website went down. Because Karen's sister also was watching my videos. I don't know why. She got Karen to divorce me. She won. But yeah, the home teachers, even, they're against me now. Even though I rubbed it in that they can no longer go on cruise ships. People don't like being told that others told them so. The home teachers were there from the beginning. As I was telling them about the signs in the heavens being fulfilled from the Bible. Mormons believe that. That's why they're called the Latter-day Saints. Alrighty. Man. See, Nelson's even a medical doctor, a a medical doctor. They have hundreds of billions of dollars. And they have a bishop storehouse system set up. All they need to do, since they don't have storehouses throughout the world as they should have done, if they had paid attention to the story of Joseph in Egypt, which is why they got the inspiration in the first place for Welfare Square, not to mention Malachi, but they didn't want to use it for Malachi's reason. We're not given to the poor and the needy. This is just a show. This is for us when the world comes to an end by the Scottish Rites Illuminati. And then they get caught with the 100 billion, and so they then say, look at us, we're giving a token truckload to other charities. You guys are a charity. You're a religious charity. Give! This is the 7 years of famine. My hell. There are people suffering. And not just the homeless, not just the poor, but the working poor. The single moms who have to work and pay for childcare. And the disabled and the sick. We're being exterminated, people. And the Mormon church just shut down. They closed. So, alright. I covered several video topics in this one, but we'll see if I can get to them separately and make them shorter. I guess I went too long without doing videos for you.